Hey guys, Travis Gillespie here. Today we're going to be multiplying with decimals. And I'm just throwing a problem up on the screen that we're going to work through. And as we work through the entire video, I'm going to talk to you about rules of multiplying with decimals. The first thing you probably want to note when multiplying with decimals is forget about the decimals at the start. Pretend they're not there. I'm going to change colors and we're going to multiply. 7 times 3 gives me a value of 21. I'm going to drop the 1, carry the 2. 0 times 3 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Alright, I'm going to cross off the 2 because I'm done with it. I'm going to cross off the 3 because I'm done with it. I'm done with this 10th place value. I'm going to move to the next place value. And I want you to note, this is 0 in this place value. There's nothing there. So anything I calculate by 0, I'll end up with 0 down in my problem. Now, I feel like that creates more work, and I don't want to do it because I don't have to. If you're comfortable or more comfortable with calculating by multiplying by 0 and placing those zeros down below, go for it and follow through the process you're most comfortable with. We should get to the same answer in the long run. Okay, I'm going to change colors again. Remember earlier when I told you to forget about the decimals? Well, once you're done calculating or multiplying all your values and adding up any values that you need to add up below, that's the time the decimals come back into play. You're going to ask yourself, how many spaces do you have to push that decimal out to get to the end of the problem? How many place values will it travel? Well, let's count. We have 1, and I'm going to make a mark, and I'm going to make a note. The decimal traveled 1 place value, or 1 space, to the right, and I'm going to do the same thing with the decimal down below. So I'm going to push it out 1 place value to the right. I'm going to mark it and make a note it traveled 1 space. And let's fix these e's real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to ask myself, how many place values did I push these decimals out to the right total? Well, I could just count 1 and 2, or I could add up the values off to the side. 1 plus 1. And 1 plus 1 will give me a value of 2. So it traveled 2 spaces in the long run. Okay, now you don't have to create these loops every time and make these notes off to the side every time you're multiplying with decimals. I just did it for a visual. But you know the decimal traveled 2 spaces. You pushed it 2 spaces out to the end of the problem. So now you're going to go to the new value you have, and you're going to push that decimal 2 places or 2 place values back into the problem. So let's count. 1 and 2. The decimal will land here in front of the 2. So let's rewrite the new value below. You could write it as 0.21 or simply 0.21. I'm going to box up 0.21 as my final answer. Cool stuff. Let's take a look at another problem. Alright, this time we have 0.04 times 0.5. Okay, now multiplying sideways can be tricky. So I suggest taking the longest number and stacking it on top of the shortest number. Notice I said the longest, not necessarily the largest number. 0.04 is not larger than 0.5. So I'm going to change colors. So we have 0.04 times, and now take note here, when multiplying with decimals you do not have to line up the decimals. In fact, you're going to line up the last digits. So the 5 will land directly under the 4. And then I'm going to bring the 0 down next to the 5 and put the decimal in between 0 and 5. Now if you look at the decimals, notice they're not lined up. Alright, so 4 times 5 is 20. I'm going to drop a 0, carry the 2. 0 times 5 is 0, plus 2. I'm going to drop the 2 down. Now when I get to the next place value, I have 0. But if I multiply 0 times 5, I have nothing, and I'd be putting a 0 down here. I'd be adding nothing to this problem. The same thing would happen when I move on to the next place value below. Every value in the number above it, multiplied by 0, would give me 0. I'd be adding nothing to this problem. That adds extra work, and I don't necessarily want to do it. Again, if it makes you comfortable doing it, go ahead and try it out. We should get to the same answer in the end. So I'm going to change colors. And I'm going to count how many place values I have to push that decimal out to the end of the problem. So 1 and 2, the decimal would land here, and again, 1. So the decimal traveled 2 spaces above, 2 spaces, and it traveled 1 space below, 1 space. Now total, the decimal traveled 1, 2, and 3 spaces. I could prove that here by adding 2 plus 1 gives me 3 spaces. So I'm going to make a mark at the end of the new value and push that decimal in 1, 2, and 3 spaces to the left back into the new value. The decimal will land here. But what goes in this empty space? Well, nothing goes there, so I'm going to put a 0. So we have a 0 here, and I'm going to write my new number below as 0.020. And then below this, I'm going to rewrite it as 0.02. Now let's compare these two numbers. Is 0.020 any different from 0.02? If I drop this 0 or hide it, does it change the number below? Not at all, they're the same value. So this 0 at the end of the problem, it's insignificant. It's adding nothing to the value, 0.02. So I'm going to box up 0.02 as my final answer.